I can't see the screen. It went away.
I'm terribly sorry about
that. Am I on there?
You're on there now.
Who picks a direction faster, Treebeard or Henry Cavill? Marvel has their eyes set on award season? Kraven the Hunter isn't reviewing well? That's not a joke or anything. That was just... Anyway. Need an ugly sweater this Christmas season? Paramount has got you covered. All this and more on Cutting Edge Hero Live. We're up. Welcome to Cutting Edge Hero! I am the Nerd King, Danny Stewart, your host for this and every show of Cutting Edge Hero. And we are still having monitor difficulties. We need to maybe get a new HDMI cable for that. But Landon is currently in the process of fixing it. Anyway, joined as always by the incredible, the immaculate, the bootylicious Landon Felter. Landon, scream into the mic. Say hi to all the nice people.
Hello, everyone. While I'm up fixing technical difficulties, Danny's apparently been looking at my ass.
Yeah, well, any chance I get, honestly. It's like that thing don't quit. So currently not seeing comments. I guess I could open up Facebook so that I could see them whilst I also talk. We have got a great show for you this week. We are talking about there we go. I can see me now. We are talking about so I let Landon come up with the thing under my name every week, and Knuckle Deep, that might be my favorite one so far. Jennifer Johnson in the comments. What is up, Jen? Glad you are here. Booty, 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 indeed. My boy P, Rick, is in the comment. What's up, Rick? And Kenpachi joining us. Kenpachi, what is up? I miss you. Cape Con has been too long. Can't wait to see you soonish Lee. Our human relations specialist and fact checker extraordinaire, Ben Stewart, may be in the comments. He also may be working overtime, which is the only excuse I will accept for him not to be here. But Ben, if you get here, say hi to the nice folks. But anyway, on this week's show, we will be talking about all of the latest, some of the latest news coming out of entertainment. And then we are also talking about DC's Creature Commandos, Skelton Crew, the new Star Wars series that has dropped. And then we will also be talking about our 5 favorite Christmas movies. So get your lists together now. There will be a test, and I will be expecting you to answer correctly or whatever. There's no judgment, or there is. It could go either way. But anyway, before we get into all of that, Landon, what's the nerdiest thing you've done this week?
You mean other than finishing all my finals?
Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm finishing up my undergrad, everyone. This time next week, you'll be talking to Landon with a college degree.
Yeah, nothing nerdier than getting an education.
Yeah, but since I have been finishing my finals, I finally have time to play video games for more than an hour a day again. I've got Elden Ring again. It's so nice. I mean, it's torture, but it's nice.
Do you have Shadow of the Erd Tree yet?
I don't.
Okay, I don't either. I haven't dug into it because I know that whenever I get Shadow of the Erd Tree, I'm gonna have to dump like 80 plus hours into it, and I just don't have the time to spare on that right now.
Same here. And thank you, everyone. Yeah. It's nice to finally be done.
The nerdiest thing I have done this week, the 5th and final of the first story arc of the Stormlight Archive, Wind and Truth, released on Saturday. I pre-ordered it. I got it on I got it through Amazon. It showed up at my house about 5 o'clock Saturday evening, and I have pretty much read nonstop since I got it. I've taken a couple of breaks to eat. We did a little bit of Christmas shopping the other night. Other than that, it has just been Wind and Truth nonstop. And unfortunately, I was trying to finish it before the show today. I have this much left. This much left. I was trying to finish it before we had to set the show up, and it just did not happen. Jennifer Johnson, it's incredible. If you are not a fan of the Stormlight Archive, just the inside cover art. Check that out. That is one of the Radiants and one of the Gods' cultivation from the series. It is just everything about this is gorgeous. Brandon Sanderson does not skimp when it comes to art for his series. Those are two of the heralds from the series. And then even, I have so many books and the dust covers are largely useless, right? Well, not with the Stormlight Archive, because here is this beautiful dust cover. And then on the inside is a full map of Roshar, which is nuts. I can take any other hardcover book I have back here and open it, and there's nothing inside the dust cover. But this full color map of the planet Roshar from the Brandon Sanderson Stormlight Archive series. He puts so much thought into everything. Honestly, it's incredible.
His effort or his attention to the art that goes along with his books is second only to his word count.
Yes, that's true. This is a 1,300 plus page book. What's the final? I'm trying not to accidentally read the last sentence. The final page count is 1,329. Look at this beefy sucker. Anyway, taking me almost 5 days to finish. I will be finishing it as soon as we are off the air tonight. My last 45-ish pages, I think. And I'm freaking pumped, but gotta focus. We got a show to do. The show must go on. I'm glad you guys are here. Landon, you want to do some news?
Oh, always.
Why don't you fire those bullet points at me? Little known fact, Landon actually plays that live in studio every time we put it up. He can shred.
Yes. It's very difficult. I have to click the intro and hold the guitar at the same time to get it just right.
Right.
But I do that for you, everyone.
Yeah, the electric ukulele, one of the most slept on instruments of all time. You can tell I've done almost nothing this week. I am just on one. Anyway, first off, in television news, Henry Cavill says that the Warhammer 40K series is finally moving forward at Amazon. In a tweet on Twitter, I'm not calling it the other thing, he posted this, which I thought I would be able to read to you, but Landon's going to read it to you instead, about their choice of a direction.
I didn't realize I was going to read that.
Yep.
I crossed that out on my news.
There you go. Go ahead and read that for me.
Oh, yes. To celebrate some Warhammer news, I decided to make a pilgrimage to the very first place I bought Warhammer models over 30 years ago, the little shop on my home island of Jersey. My incredible team and I, alongside the brilliant minds at Games Workshop, have been working away in concept rooms, breaking down approaches to the enormity and magnificence
You're killing it.
Magnificence of the Warhammer world. Together, we've been shifting through the plethora of incredible characters and poring over old tomes and texts. Our combined efforts have led us to a fantastic place to start our universe, which has been agreed upon by those up on high at both Amazon and Games Workshop. That starting place shall, for now, remain a secret.
So
Watch
we don't
this space, though. More to come in time.
And also I said Twitter, and that's very clearly Instagram. So that's on me. I'm sure somebody in the comments has already called me out on it. Billy said it's fine. Nobody calls it X. You're the one bringing it up. I actually brought it up unnecessarily too. Billy Rhodes in the chat. Billy, glad you're here. I know you were thirsting for some more Hammer news. Landon and I were both planning to report on it, but it's my show, so I got to do it. In other television news, Catherine Hahn has received a Golden Globe nomination, and I love how these nominations have to be so specific. Like, they don't want anybody to accidentally think they were nominated for anything outside of it, because she was nominated for Best Performance by a Female Actor in a Television Series, Musical, or Comedy.
It's limited to television series, musical, or comedy.
Yep.
So they thought they could just lump
No,
all.
it's a television series, musical, or comedy. So either a musical television series or a comedy television series. She's not getting any dramatic. She's not getting any fictional, like television series dash musical or comedy is the category she is up for winning. The fact that it's even getting Golden Globe nominations has led people to already rumor that it will be getting a season 2. We will be seeing more Agatha all along, or more of Agatha at least on the Disney Plus streaming service.
Yeah, that's a lot more praise than I've seen some other shows get. So
yeah, Marvel. Weirdly, the MCU being the most the highest earning franchise in cinematic history, not necessarily single film, or not necessarily single film earning. Obviously, Avatar holds that record currently, but collectively, all of the movies together, no other movie franchise has earned as much in the theater as the MCU has. And that being said, they haven't won a lot of awards. It's mostly like CGI, sound design, stuff like that, but not a lot for acting. So this is a big one for Marvel. Much like Joker winning an Academy Award, elevated DC superhero films to want to earn more Oscars. Every accolade that a superhero property can win, especially in this period where everybody's so hung up on superhero fatigue, just puts another feather in their cap. So I think it's good. I support it. I think the idea that it's not about the medium or the place the story comes from. It's about the people putting it together and the story they're trying to tell and whether they're good at it or not. And it does not matter whether it's based on a comic book or whether it's in the MCU or whether it's in the DC universe. It just is about quality at the end of the day. And I think that's something Agatha all along pulled off.
Yeah, it's nice to see, it's always nice to see properties that don't always get the most respect get some respect.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so funny to me, being A, the Nerd King, and B, the fact that for the majority of my life, it was not cool or in vogue to be into all the things that we are into. And we have such a small window of time where it has been, and people are already saying they're burnt out or they're done or they're over it. I'm just so aggravated by that. Like, our 15 minutes doesn't need to be 15 minutes. It can just be forever. Superhero films and properties and stuff can be popular forever. They don't have to go anywhere. So the whole conversation around superhero fatigue, I think, is stupid. I think that it's indicative of people hating whatever is popular, and always looking for the next best thing. And I'm never going to be looking for the next best thing. I'm just looking for the things I love, supported in good ways. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Landed. Also, moving along to movie news, in a bit of news that surprises absolutely no one, Rotten Tomatoes is scoring Kraven the Hunter at a 17% based on critic reviews. It is currently carrying.
Gasp or something?
Huh?
Was I supposed to gasp or something?
Yeah, I gave you a little second there to collect yourself.
Oh.
But that being said, it is carrying an average of 3.5% out of 10 based on the reviews that have come in. That being said, I've already decided I don't care what the fuck Rotten Tomatoes says about whether a series or a movie is good or not. I need to see it with my own eyes. With Sony's track record with Spider-Man or superhero-based movies, other than Into and Across the Spider-Verse, I'm not optimistic that it's going to be good, but I'm also not going to pin all my hopes on what Rotten Tomatoes has to say.
Yeah, I never fully follow Rotten Tomatoes or anything, but I think I'm inclined to trust their judgment on this one.
The funny thing, I think, is that whether it is or is not good, that 17% Rotten Tomato score is going to have an effect on that movie's bottom line. People are going to see that and say, well, I guess I'll pass on that one.
I have a feeling that we cannot blame how Kraven turns out based on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's true. I think that's accurate. I just, I'm not shocked that it's so low, and I can't wait for them to be using Twitter fan reviews as their critical reviews in their commercials. That's always a sign it's going to be a good movie.
Yeah, it would be amazing if they could just turn it around with like one last good movie. I have a feeling at this point it would still be like a swan song for the Sony cinematic universe if this is good. But even then, it's just
Yeah, I can't even think of what that would have to be. We got the Deadpool and Wolverine was this like great wrap up for the Fox Marvel universe, but I couldn't even imagine a character from the Disney or from the Sony universe that could come in and wrap up the Sony Marvel films in a way that would be like nostalgic, and you'd be like, yeah, I love that.
I just
I mean, Tobey Maguire, obviously, but like not in a like bring everybody back together, like get them all on screen together type of situation. I just don't see anybody being able to pull that off. Kenpachi said, I heard they're shutting down the Sony live action Spider-Verse. I would not be surprised by that at all. I think that they've gotten to the point where they know that that property is better off in the hands of the MCU.
Yeah, I heard a bit about that too. If I remember right, it wasn't 100% concrete. It was mostly just like a leak sort of thing or just rumors, but I could be wrong. I could be misremembering as well.
It would be the smart move. I wouldn't blame them at all. And they can do exactly what they're doing with Spider-Man currently, which is just take a chunk of the money that Marvel is earning off of it and then take a back seat. Like passive income's great. It's awesome. Highly recommend it. Sony, look into it. You don't need to be the one helming these films. Let Marvel do it and just take a chunk of the property's value after the fact and hold on to your rights. Just roll your credits in, make it part of the contractual obligation to make 3 movies a year based on Spider-Man characters, keep the rights and keep letting Marvel have a chunk of it until they turn around and buy your company out. And then, go walk to the bank, put it in your account, and, let this part of history go away. That being said, Craven is also tracking to have an opening weekend lower than Madam Web did currently. So that's also not a good sign. Maybe people have lost faith in Sony's ability to make good superhero films.
If it took this long, man, they were really holding on.
Yeah, I mean that MCU wave was pretty big. For this to be the tail end of it for Sony.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I guess you're right.
And in my final piece of movie news, this one's pretty fun. Unfortunately, registration for this ended at 7 p.m. tonight. So if you're logging in and watching it here and learning about it here, you've already missed your chance, and I apologize. But Paramount is giving away an ugly Sonic sweater as part of their 12 hours of Sonic giveaway. So if you were needing an ugly sweater for your Christmas season, there it is. Possibly the ugliest sweater of all time.
He's glorious.
Yeah. So Paramount apparently is finally ready to take a look back at their ugly sweater or their ugly Sonic controversy and make a little money off of it themselves. But they're also giving away a couple of the Sonic popcorn buckets and some other stuff, getting ready for the release of Sonic 3. Landon, what do you have in video game news?
All right. It's actually been a lot of news lately.
Oh, boy.
So first off, a veteran from the video game industry, Joost van Dreunen, I hope I pronounced that right. He is saying that it looks like Ubisoft may be on the path to dismantling sometime in 2025.
Oh, no. Who's going to make Assassin's Creed games?
They're probably expecting to sell it off at some point.
Oh.
They're just looking to dismantle and liquidate. Apparently, there was some investors were talking about being bought out or selling all their shares. So there may be a chance that come 2025, no more Ubisoft.
I don't know. The fact that Assassin's Creed Red got canceled and did that ever get released?
I don't think so.
I don't believe it did. It wasn't a good sign for Ubisoft. That is a AAA game that they had almost finished and never made it to release, which I think is just nuts. Marbles in the chat. Hey, what's up? Glad you're here. Billy Rhodes said, is that something you're already covering?
No.
Okay. New free Cyberpunk 2077 update dropped. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's a fairly big update. I haven't kept up with everything on it, but One of the big things I've seen most people doing is messing around with the new features in picture mode.
Does it give you more or less Keanu Reeves?
It gives you a lot more.
Oh, sweet.
But yeah, that's what's going on with Cyberpunk. Like I said, I haven't really paid too much attention to it.
Cool.
But yeah, Ubisoft possibly liquidating in the future.
I mean, we could maybe get our money together and buy it. Rick says, my son Ashton and I are enjoying Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. That kind of flew under the radar for me, but I am excited to play it.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things from it, which shocked me. It looked like a movie, not a movie tie-in game, but a game based off of a movie property. I didn't have a whole lot of hope for it, but I'm pleasantly surprised.
There have not been a lot of good Indiana Jones games, so it was about time.
I don't know. Sierra had a pretty good point-and-click adventure game.
I said a lot. Like you named one more. There's been a lot of Indiana Jones games. Oh, yeah. And yeah, Pitfall counts.
Pitfall counts.
Pitfall counts as an Indiana Jones game, as do the Uncharted games. Anyway, carry on.
Moving on. EA will patent 23 accessibility features for game making, and they are going to make them 100% royalty free.
On what?
For games.
On what game? On what system?
Any games.
Oh.
These are accessibility features. Everything from speech recognition for people who have speech impediments.
Yeah, that should be free.
Yeah, to text-to-speech, better text-to-speech options for people who can't read like on screens as well.
That should also be free. This should not be news.
Well,
I'm saying, like, in our world, that should not be news. That should be included quality of life upgrades, I would think.
Yeah, but the main idea behind this is that they are patenting it so that somebody else doesn't patent it first and then force others to pay.
And you said this was EA?
This was EA.
Right. The kings of the microtransaction. That is literally the only reason this is news.
No, they've stated that they're going to make it all royalty free.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the for them to make this move, patent this stuff, and then not charge for it. That's the news. It's with EA because they charge for every damn thing. Colorblind options would be cool. That's what Billy says. Get you some of them colorblind glasses. I hear it fixes your colorblindness.
I don't really know about that, but yeah, EA, the kings of microtransactions, milking you for all that you're worth, maybe right behind Activision, are giving away a lot of stuff for free, which is nice.
Yeah. Next, they're going to remove the quarter slots from their wheelchair ramps on the front of their building.
Is that a real thing? Or?
No.
Okay. I was like, is that something that just flew under the radar for me? Or?
Oh my God, no! They've torn the building down by now. Anyway, what else you got?
Funko Pop's AI brand shield. It is their system that basically protects their brand from anybody posting unauthorized IP or things like that. Took down all of itch.io. Are you aware of what itch.io is?
I have no idea.
It is a website that mainly has a lot of indie games on it. It is a way for like smaller developers to sell their games when they can't make it on something big like Steam or GOG or things like that. And Funko Pop's AI-powered brand protection system sent a request to the registrar of itch.io, and the itch.io's registrar has an automated system, and it just completely shut down the entire domain.
That's
not the
crazy.
Page that it's from, that the IP infringement was on, the entire page,
so,
the entire website.
So their Funko Pop designer, where you can design your own Funko Pop, the AI built to keep you from putting licensed characters on a Funko Pop, went to an entire other website and shut it down based on its whatever it's programmed to do and how it was programmed. That's nuts.
Yeah, somebody had made a Funko Pop like fan game based off of a Funko Pop video game, sent a link to the original licensed game along with telling people to go play it, and Funko Pop took down the entire website because of that.
Wow.
An AI told an automated system to take down a website, and it did without a single human in the whole chain.
Get your shotguns ready, guys. This is how it starts. The next thing you know, it's giant killer robots coming for all of us.
Yep.
And, when Skynet finally kicks off, it won't be because the robots have decided that humans don't deserve to exist. It'll be because somebody did some copyright infringement, and even the computers are lawyering up.
It'll determine that all of humanity is in copyright infringement.
Yeah.
Because human characters are similar enough to logo characters.
Yep. It's going to decide Landon looks too much like Brad Pitt, and it's going to cancel all of us.
Coolio.
Yeah. Anyway.
Final bit of news. Marvel Rivals has had one of the biggest free-to-play launches in all of Steam history.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not the biggest, but it's number 2 or number 3.
And it's crazy because it's a free game coming from Marvel.
Yes.
Yeah. So what are the numbers? You got hard numbers on that?
I did not grab hard numbers.
That's okay. I haven't downloaded it. I am going to put it on my PS5 and try it out, though, just because it's a superhero based, a fun like team game. It looks fun. It's getting reviewed well. People are excited about it. I am going to give Marvel Rivals a chance.
Yeah, I probably will too. I mean, it's free. But yeah, that's everything from me.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I hope this news didn't just graze you. This has been the bullet points. Welcome back to the show. Landon, were you aware that a little Star Wars series called Skeleton Crew dropped on Disney Plus?
I have heard of this, yes.
I completely missed the release of this. I happened to be looking up a news article for something else entirely and saw a review for it. And I was like, holy shit, that already dropped. And so I think that was last Wednesday when our show aired. And I was like, well, I got to go watch that. So I have seen the first 2 episodes. That being said, because I have been elbow deep in, or knuckle deep, as my title says today, in Stormlight Archive, I have not watched episode 3, but we haven't talked about 1 and 2 yet. So we're going to talk about that today. Also, because Black Friday came and went in the prevailing weeks, I made a couple of purchases. Well, one of them was a late birthday present from my darling wife, and one was a gift to myself. But I got these guys. Whoop. On Amazon for like $60. And I am so in love with these. I got to tell you. Anyway, this isn't a commercial for these. I've looked at a lot of, I should do the show like this all the time. I've looked at a lot of combat lightsabers over the years and never got around to pulling the trigger on them. And I happened to find these on Amazon with like they were a Black Friday deal plus like a $20 coupon. And this is the whole rest of the show. But they're original handles. They're not from anything, which is cool, I think. I don't know. I love them. They've gotten a little bit of use. I have beat the shit out of them a bit, but they've got like motion controls, which I haven't learned to use yet, and like all the different like lightsaber sounds and colors. And then they also play music for your super epic battles. But anyway, can't wait for it to warm up and me to take these out in the yard and give them what for. Also, my buddy Keaton needs a full-on lightsaber ass whooping, so I'm gonna go do that. Actually, he's having a Christmas party this weekend, so I may go do that.
Are you gonna attack Keaton with a lightsaber at Christmas?
So at his last Christmas party last year, he had just bought 3 combat lightsabers, and so we went out in his yard and I fought against him and 2 other people, and I am trained with a sword, so it did not go the way they thought it would go. And so I thought I would bring my 2 this time, and then there would be 5, and we could really get a lightsaber battle going. So we'll see. I may also have gotten one for Christmas that Katrina refuses to give me because it's going to be under the tree Christmas morning. So I will then have 3 lightsabers, and I'm excited.
Oh man, Jedi Zora, let's go.
Right? That's holy shit. I didn't even think about that. Oh my God. Another reason to be excited. Anyway, Skeleton Crew dropped last week, I believe, and it is so good. And I see somebody mentioning it, Goonies vibes. Absolutely. This is Stranger Things and Goonies in the Star Wars universe. That is 100% what the idea is. It's a bunch of like I think 10-year-old kids going on a fun spacefaring adventure, learning all about the galaxy that they live in. It is in between the end of Return of the Jedi and the start of Force Awakens. So it takes place in that kind of dead space in between the movies. Serena Best of Nine Stewart, my beautiful niece in the chat. What is up? Glad you are here. It takes place in that space in between, kind of in the same space that The Mandalorian takes place and Ahsoka. So it's in that current like best timeline that Star Wars is using. And it's fun. The kid actors do such a great job of just playing like suburbanite little shitheads who are like have no idea how good they've got it, and they're just like, you know, craving adventure, and they end up spoiler alert, they end up on a spaceship and end up jumping into hyperspace and going very, very far away from their homes. And there's space pirates. There's a whole space pirate port. There's combat battle. There's really cool droids. Some Jedi stuff going on. We're not sure what that is. I will not get too into the specifics on it because I don't want to ruin it for anybody. So no need for a spoiler alert, but absolutely check it out if you get a second. This is probably one of the most fun Star Wars series that they've put out so far. I'd say it's up there with Mandalorian season 1 with just being like carrying a good balance of like nostalgia and fun and not taking itself too seriously and still giving us a fun Star Wars series. A lot of those series you guys are mentioning in the comments, I also get a little bit of Flight of the Navigator in there. I kind of feel like it's got a bit of Flight of the Navigator vibes. We'll see if it gets into Last Starfighter. I'd be excited about that. But it's just a really cool show so far. I'm really enjoying it. I haven't watched episode 3 yet, so I just got the reveal of Jude Law's character at the end of episode 2, so I don't really know where it went from there. But I will be checking it out later once I finish this book and maybe flip through and read it very quickly a second time. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to start my 5th reread of the Stormlight Archive as soon as I finish this, though. Jennifer Johnson said those were all my jam growing up. Absolutely. Dude, Last Starfighter is so good. People do not talk about Last Starfighter enough. I love that movie. Absolutely love it. An Enemy Mine, but that's not in the same genre, but also an awesome movie, which I checked that out as well. Anyway, but yeah, so if you get a chance, A, get you some lightsabers and then come fight me, and B, go check out Skeleton Crew. It's a great show. It's very fun. A lot of nostalgia. I don't have a lot of criticisms for it. It's probably one of the best newer Star Wars things they've put out. That includes the newer 3 movies for sure. It's way better than Book of Boba Fett already. It's kind of, I would say it's better than season 2 of Mandalorian as well. Probably just under Ahsoka for me. And then I never got around to finishing what was the other one? Andor. I never got around to finishing Andor, so I need to do that. I'm like 3 episodes in, and I didn't even finish the 3rd episode. I will get there, but I'm not there yet. But anyway, check it out if you get a chance. Secondly, we got our first James Gunn DCU property dropped on HBO Max this week. It is the Creature Commandos, based on the DC comic Creature Commandos. Kind of. It is far more based on the Suicide Squad movie by James Gunn that came out a few years ago, because that's literally all it is. That's not necessarily a criticism, but I will say I have been reserving my judgment for the idea of James Gunn helming a DC universe. And I have said a few times, I don't know that he's got it in him to make a good Superman film with a good version of Superman that's enjoyable to watch and isn't like just a bunch of stupid jokes in the middle of Superman using his powers. And this show does not give me hope that that's what we're going to get. I don't think we're going to get an earnest, well-made Superman film out of James Gunn. He could prove me wrong, but based on Creature Commandos, I don't see that. It is the first outing of the DCU. He has taken an opportunity to fill the series with vulgar language, which that's fine. You know, I love Deadpool and Wolverine, but it's not what I expect out of a DC property. It really is not. and it was just rife with it. It's a ton of like sex jokes, characters actually getting it on screen, some gratuitous violence, murder, like, and it really, it seems like he's good at making one kind of movie, and it's a found family movie about a bunch of ragtag people coming together to join a team to take on a much bigger enemy, which is Guardians of the Galaxy 1, 2, and 3, and Suicide Squad, and now Creature Commandos, and and Peacemaker, are all kind of the exact same thing, and that's what he's giving us with Creature Commandos. So other than a vehicle to find another thing for Sean Gunn to act in, the voice cast is great. David Harbour's great. Some of the Game of Thrones people are in it. The girl that plays Ciri in Witcher, I forget her name, she's in it. Alan Tudyk always never misses. Alan Tudyk's great. He voices a couple of characters. You know, he's Clayface in the new Batman series, and then he's also I forget his name, Dr. Gamma or something, in Creature Commandos. Yes, Freya Allen, thank you. The voice cast is great. They do a great job. It just feels like more of the same from James Gunn. And I'm really looking forward to him showing us something different in his ability to make superhero properties, and I'm just not seeing it. So I'm still optimistic we're going to get a good Superman film out of him. I'm wary. I'm very wary. He's made some superhero stuff in the past. Brightburn is a notable example. Brightburn was fun, very dark. And that was a Dark Justice League film, or the start of a Dark Justice League film. You know, there's Super, which he made a while back, which is just like a dumb superhero comedy. There's no real superheroes in it. But this Creature Commandos doesn't fill me with hope that the rest of the DCU is going to be well or good. But that being said, I will withhold my full judgment until I actually see it. But I just expect more out of him. That's all. Jennifer Johnson said, I like Soups. Let's just skip the origin story and jump into the fun. I think they're basically just doing All-Star Superman, which they did a great animated film of. The comic was great. They won't necessarily go wrong. It's just I feel like the tone he's already setting with Creature Commandos for what's happening inside the DCU is so far off from what we want to see in a Superman film. And I don't know that he has the ability to just make a good Superman film, but we'll see.
He could just be getting it out of his system.
That's true too, but I mean, coming from his trauma origins, I just don't know that there's really anything James Gunn's made that I would say like, yeah, that fills me with faith that his Superman film is going to be good.
Yeah, it's who knows.
Landon and I are just shrugging back and forth at each other. But anyway, so speaking of great films, Kenpachi said, it's Batman that I'm so over. I hope he doesn't make a solo Batman film. We're definitely getting a solo Batman film in the James Gunn universe. It's what is it? Batman Brave and the Bold. It's already slated. But it's supposed to be a Batman that's already like 5 years into his crime fighting journey, and he has Robin the Boy Wonder with him already. So it seems like we're also just going to get all-star Batman and Robin, but maybe not. I just hope whoever gets to play Superman plays it like Cavill. He gave Superman more personality and depth. David Cornsweet is playing Superman. He's another British actor. Kind of looks like Henry Cavill. You can see images of him in the Superman costume that have already leaked online. The suit's going to be cool. Kenpachi said, as long as Diedrich Bader is the Batman for it, I'm there. Doubt we'll get Diedrich Bader as the live-action Batman. People are saying that they think it will be Jensen Ackles. I don't see it. I think Jensen Ackles is a fine actor. He's already gotten his turn to play Batman in the new Tomorrowverse movie series that they did. They just put out the third Crisis on Infinite Earths movie. He's had his run as Batman. I want to see an actor who actually looks like Bruce Wayne play Batman, because we've never gotten that on screen. He's got black hair and blue eyes, for starters. And every single on-screen Batman we've gotten to date is brown hair and brown eyes. What the hell? And he's a big guy. Batman is 6'2", and he is ripped. And the closest we've gotten to that is the Ben Affleck Batman, who is 6'3", and every other Batman has been under 6'2" or much shorter, like Michael Keaton, who's a very small man. I just want an accurate on-screen Batman, just for one of the films, if they could just do that. Jennifer Johnson said he's beefy. Yeah, Bader was the voice actor for Batman Brave and the Bold cartoon. Love that series. Yeah, he's been the voice actor for Batman in a couple things. He's also the voice for Harvey Dent in the new Batman series. And Diedrich Bader, I think he has a great Batman voice. I think I just don't see him as a live action. He's definitely up there in age and not in Batman shape at all. But that's not an indication that you can't do it. A lot of people shed weight and get in crazy rip shape for a Batman film. I just don't see Diedrich Bader doing it at what is probably almost or over 60 years old. He's somewhere in that range. I don't know his actual age. Somebody feel free to look it up. But yeah. But anyway, speaking of great movies, this week on the hit list, we're talking about our 5 favorite Christmas movies. Welcome to the hit list. This week we are talking about our 5 favorite Christmas movies of all time. And I do expect a bit of argument about what is and is not a Christmas movie in the chat, and that's okay. And I might even weigh in. I'm not one to give my opinion on things, but it's possible. To kick us off, Landon, would you be so kind as to give us your number 5?
All right, my number 5. Partially fueled by nostalgia. All this is fueled by the nostalgia, let's be real.
Yeah,
it's the valid. Santa Claus. Is this originally just a vehicle for Tim Allen to make Tim Allen noises? Yes. Is Tim Allen an asshole in real life? Most comedians are. But is this just a fun film about a guy accidentally becoming Santa Claus after he kills the first one or the one before him? Yeah. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think there's an argument to be made that the Santa Claus is a good film. I think, yes, it was around the end of Home Improvement, and he was trying to transition into films. He's also Buzz Lightyear, for Christ's sake. But I think that maybe the rest of the franchise maybe went a little too far. They're definitely not geared at the audience that the first one's geared at. I think it stands up as a good classic Christmas film, though.
Yes, it is definitely a classic.
Yeah.
All right.
Spaceboy said, I used to think it was actual facts about Santa. Interesting. I honestly believed until I was about 14 years old that that Santa Claus was real. I actually was, it was Christmas Eve, and I was getting ready to head to my room to settle down and take a nice long winter's nap. And my mom asked me if, for all the kids in the audience, Santa's totally real. This is a story I'm making up. Also, this is TVMA while your kids watching it. Anyway, I will say I thought he was real. I totally believed it. I was like way too old, but I love fanciful things. I don't think that's a word. Anyway, but I was getting ready to go to bed. My mom asked me if I wanted to help put out all the Christmas presents or help put out all the Santa stuff and like eat the cookies and all that stuff. And I was crestfallen.
Oh.
I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, you want to help? You're old enough. And I was like, doesn't Santa do that? And she was like, come on. And I was like, really? Yes, Billy, 14 years old. I still believed somewhere in my heart of hearts that Santa was real and was holding out for the idea that he existed. I'm autistic, man. It happens. It's okay. But anyway, carrying on.
Billy Rhodes, number 5, Prometheus. There's a Christmas tree in it, so it's a Christmas movie. Yeah.
Okay, we're bringing the Aliens franchise into our Christmas list. I mean, if it's got a Christmas tree in it.
Yeah, it fits.
Marble says, I was 4. I felt like someone died. Yeah, your childhood.
Wish I'd been 14.
I also found out that Easter Bunny didn't exist in a traumatic way. I we took a trip to my grandparents for Easter to visit, and I got in the back of our van to get something out and happened to discover all of the Easter candy. And my mom got really mad at me and thought that I had been back there sneaking around trying to find it. And I literally had no idea what she was talking about. And then she's like, get in the house. And I was like, okay. And then afterwards I was like, shit.
There's no magic in the world.
Yeah. Everything sucks. I hate this. There's magic in the world, and it's Landon Felter's eyes.
Well, thank you.
Spaceboy never believed in the Easter Bunny. I guess I was gullible as a younger person. I full send. I thought all these things were real. I thought that the magic of my childhood existed well beyond what I should have, and it's okay. I honestly believe the Ninja Turtles existed and were real and lived in the storm drains in the town that I grew up in. I would stop and talk to them every so often as a child. Yes, I was weird. It's okay. I grew up to be I was going to say well-adjusted adult, but I think I'm a moderately decently adjusted adult. And that's worked for me so far.
Yeah. So far.
Anyway, what do we have in the chat?
Spaceboy's number 5 is I'm cheating, but I don't care. Disney's Prep and Landing 1 and 2. They are 30-minute shorts, but I love them. No one knows what it is, but I do. I remember it premiering on ABC Family when I was little.
Spaceboy, you're not alone in this. I remember these. They're the fun little elf things where they're doing like Mission Impossible style missions trying to save Christmas, right?
Yeah, more or less.
I think it's something akin to that. I don't know that I ever watched it. Spaceboy said, Danny, you sound like your world is amazing. Well, thank you, Spaceboy.
Where's another number 5? Oh, yeah. Marbles. Number 5 is Bad Santa.
Bad Santa is a great movie. It also has Lauren Graham in it. And that was like peak Gilmore Girls Lauren Graham. Strongly approve. Definitely.
Deontay's number 5 is How
Deontay's here. Deontay the Giant in the chat. What up? How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I need to know, is that the animated Boris Karloff version or is that the Jim Carrey version that you're listing?
Clearly, he means the animated Illumination version.
Oh, yes, the Benedict Cumberbatch version. Or did he mean the live-action horror film starring David Howard Thornton as the Grinch, which is the film that got him Art the Clown? He says the Jim Carrey version. That's a classic, dude. Jim Carrey did not have to go as hard as he did. Is that on your list?
No.
Okay. Jim Carrey had to take training with the torture training with the CIA to withstand torture in order to be able to do the makeup, the grueling 8-hour makeup process to get into the Grinch costume every day to film the movie. Like, he had to be trained as a CIA operative to endure torture in order to get through it.
Yeah, same routine that Tim Curry did for It.
Yeah. It seemed a bit easier than the Grinch.
Oh, if you look into his eyes and you see the makeup just making his eyes that bloodshot, yes, that was all the makeup. You know differently.
I wonder what the process was for Tim Curry to be the devil in Legend, a movie I keep talking about that Marble and Rick are probably tired, and Rebecca are probably tired of hearing me talk about. But Legend is such a good movie. It's very early Tom Cruise before he had that weird tooth thing fixed. Tim Curry's the devil. He's sexy as fuck. It's awesome. Check it out. Marble said, fun fact, the little girl who plays Cindy Lou Who is now the lead singer of Pretty Reckless, and they're awesome. Yes. I also really like Pretty Reckless.
Oh God, we talk too much. They keep getting buried. There we go.
You got this, Landon. I believe in you.
Kenpachi's number 5 is the Hawkeye Disney series. Gives me some of the best Christmas vibes. I mean, who doesn't want to beat the shit out of someone at Christmas time?
It's literally on my Christmas list every year. Bar fight. It's on there every year. Still hasn't happened. Really sad about that. The likelihood of me getting into a bar fight has grown much slimmer since I stopped drinking, though. Much slimmer. But it was never good even when I was drinking. I was trying. Never happened. Anyway, it's in the Christmas spirit.
Jennifer J's number 5 is Die Hard.
Yes, Die Hard. So the director of Die Hard says it's not a Christmas movie. Bruce Willis says it's not a Christmas movie. they need to shut up and go back to making other films and stop worrying about it. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. There, settled. And it's awesome. Die Hard's awesome.
Rebecca's number 5 is Disney's Noelle. I love the casting, and it's just cute and fun.
Hard to go wrong with Anna Kendrick. She's great. She's a great actress. She's incredible. She's funny. She's got crazy good delivery. I enjoy everything I've seen her in, and I could see that being a great choice for a Christmas movie, although I've never seen it.
Can attest to it. I have not seen it either.
Yeah, is that everything in chat?
No, there is one.
We have more.
Eric Johnson's number 5 is Gremlins.
Eric, that is a great choice, and it's on my list, so we will discuss that. Your number 5 when we get to mine.
I think that's everything from chat so far. If not, insult me. I'll know what you mean.
Yep, get him. Do not hold back. Landon can handle it. He came from the internet. He's used to it.
Don't worry. I call myself worse.
My number 5 favorite Christmas movie of all time is Elf, starring Will Ferrell, or as you can see there, the Nerd King himself dressed as Buddy. Landon also has worn that same costume at a different time.
Yes.
But anyway, so Elf, Will Ferrell's Christmas movie, gets played in my house almost every year. I love it. I love the characters. I love the fact that Peter Dinklage, who had spent his entire career refusing to be cast as a little person in a movie, allowed himself to be cast as a little person in Elf. But it's just such a great movie. It's Step Brothers meets the old claymation Christmas movies together. And I love everything about it. It's super quotable. It's got Zooey Deschanel in it. It's just well made. Can't say enough good things about it. And if you haven't seen Elf, have you been under a rock? What have you been doing? But anyway, moving along, Landon, what do you have as your number 4?
My number 4 is How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the original 1960s version. Most of these, like I said, fueled by nostalgia. This one's just a classic. You have Dr. Seuss's prose all throughout it, which is something they tend to remove from the newer ones. And you have somebody who goes through the process of learning what Christmas is after trying to ruin it for everyone else.
His heart grew 3 sizes that day.
Yeah.
I have a similar problem when I see Landon. It's not my heart, though.
I'm well aware.
I can do this. Ben's not in the chat. We have no human relations specialist. All of the sexual harassment. I went to a class. They taught me how to do it correctly.
Yes.
But yeah, great choice. Again, Boris Karloff did the voice of the Grinch, or he did the voice of the Grinch and the voiceover work for that movie originally. And it stands up. It's only a half hour long, and every time I think about it, I think of it being like long, like an hour and a half, like the Jim Carrey Grinch movie, and it just isn't. There just isn't that much there. But in my mind, it just seems so much longer because it's so great. And I love it. I love that. I watched it growing up, in the late 1900s, like I did. Yeah, classic, absolute classic.
It's somehow. There's a phrase used in screenwriting nowadays that's like economy of storytelling. That's just trying to get as much information out with as little time as possible. And somehow the Grinch manages to do that, but also keep it rather poetic. I feel as though sometimes that is lost when trying to get as much information out as possible.
I think the other crazy thing is, like, sometimes they will make a movie based on a book, and the book will be huge. And they won't fit as much in that hour and a half movie as they did for the Grinch, based on a cardboard book by Dr. Seuss that's this big, and still get a half hour production out of it that seems so full. And then you get somebody take something like Aragon and can't make a decent movie out of it when there's plenty of book to pull from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's because they have to choose what to cut, and then they always manage to cut the most important parts.
Or like or they screw up the story. We talked about Wheel of Time the other day, but like where they just cut out like super important plot points that are going to come up later, but there's no way to circle back to them because they already removed them in the beginning of the story. Anyway, I don't want to get started on that though. Yeah. Landon, what do we have in chat?
Marbles number 4 is Noelle.
great choice for all the reasons we listed previously. And again, it's on my list. I might even get around to watching it this Christmas season.
Space Boys number 4 is The Polar Express. People say it looks uncanny. To those people, shut up. Shut up, sit down, and enjoy the movie with Tom Hanks. Hot cocoa and believing in magic.
That is not a problem for me. I can believe in magic. It's an ability I have. Yeah, and Tom Hanks plays so many characters in that movie. It's nuts.
Yeah, Tom Hanks, he made that hot chocolate himself. Little known fact.
Oh, yeah?
And he did serve it hot.
Fantastic. Based on a book, right? Polar Express was a book first?
Yes.
And they made a movie out of it. Anyway, heard good things.
Deontay's number 4 is Grumpy Old Men.
Okay, I was not aware this was set during Christmas. I didn't even, that never occurred to me. Have you seen Grumpy Old Men?
I have not.
Okay. Grumpy Old Men starring the original Odd Couple. So there was, if you're familiar with the Odd Couple series from the, I want to say late 70s, mid 70s, there was a movie prior to that called The Odd Couple starring Walter Matthau and I forget the other guy's name. But then fast forward to when they are elderly, post Dennis the Menace, they come out with a movie called Grumpy Old Men, reuniting the original Odd Couple from the first movie. But obviously they can't use Odd Couple. So they went with it because it was owned by a different studio or whatever. So they went with a whole different title, called it Grumpy Old Men. But it's basically that Odd Couple characters older. And it's a great movie. I mean, Walter Matthau was incredible, just incredible as an actor. I enjoyed everything he did. So good. And it didn't stop when he got older. Like Grumpy Old Men is hilarious.
Coolio.
Yeah.
I have nothing to add.
I know a little bit about a lot of things.
Billy Rhodes, number 4 is Batman Returns. It takes place during Christmas.
That's true. The Tim Burton's second entrance into the Batman franchise introduces the Penguin, and Michelle Pfeiffer is Catwoman in one of the greatest Catwoman costumes of all time. And you can see very early nods towards what would eventually become the Tim Burton style filmmaking in that. Jack Lemmon, thank you, Jennifer Johnson. Yes, Jack Lemmon is the other half of that Walter Matthau Odd Couple team / Grumpy Old Men team. But also, yeah, Batman Returns, I think out of those two, out of Batman and Batman Returns, I think Returns is my favorite. It really escalated the very like Batman rogues gallery that we come to expect with those. And I've never been sold on Jack Nicholson's Joker. I apologize. I know he's one of most people's favorites, but he's in the lower parts of my favorite Batman or Joker iterations. God, who's my least favorite? Well, Jared Leto's my least favorite Joker to date.
Fair.
Jack Nicholson's down there near him though. Like because Nicholson just played Nicholson. He didn't do anything different. And I get it. Like he originated the crazy movie character with One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but he literally just played himself like he does in every movie. And so I don't know, not crazy about it. I'll get off my soapbox. I apologize, everyone. There's just better Jokers out there. My favorite is Cesar Romero. Put that out there for everyone. I think he's the finest of all of the live action Jokers. And then obviously Mark Hamill, second, as far as Joker iterations. Anyway, what else do we have in chat?
Where are the other number 4s? There they are. Jennifer J's number 4 is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yes, the claymation, probably one of the earliest claymation things I saw, and I love anything made claymation. Wallace and Gromit is huge for me. But yeah, that movie does not hold up to the test of time. There is a ton of terrible practices in that movie about hiding who you really are, and
how you should only show who you are if you're going to be useful.
Right? Yeah, it's very problematic in the modern age. That being said, it's a fun family film.
Yeah, I mean, the scene of Rudolph going, "She thinks I'm cute. She thinks I'm cute,"
Yeah.
is still one of the cutest scenes ever.
No child wants to play with a Charlie in the box.
Okay,
It's from the Isle of Misfit Toys.
I know, but you just hit me with that, and I was not expecting it.
I do voices.
Kenpachi's number 4 is Violent Night, 2022 David Harbour film. So much fun, probably not so good for younger kids. Over 8 is cool though.
If this hit list was 6 movies, Violent Night would have been my number 6. I think it was such a smart idea to take your classic heist film and make the hero Santa Claus. It's everything about it's great. They go over the top with the violence. Santa is like over it. He's had enough. He's he's the embodiment of a Norse god who ended up becoming Santa Claus, and he hates his life, and he decides to get back to his warrior roots and deal with John Leguizamo, who makes everything better. And it's just such a fun movie. Rick said, I just put Ashton to bed and told him, don't listen to Nerd King. Santa is real. Sorry about that, P. My bad.
Rebecca's number 4 is definitely Home Alone.
Yeah, that's a Christmas movie about a small child doing awful, awful things to two home burglars. In the real world, after all of that, I assume there would have been some sort of lawsuit, and the child would have done some sort of community service and some been taken to some very special classes for his want to and ability to torture and destroy other human beings. I love Home Alone. Uh, as a film goer, it was like, haha, this is funny. But really looking at it, like combing through it with a fine tooth comb, the fact that what is his name? Macaulay Culkin's character.
I don't remember.
Anyway,
It gets screamed, but I don't remember.
The fact that he like almost murders these guys like multiple times is just insane. And that after the first couple of things, they kept coming. Like the Wet Bandits were, or the was it the is it the Wet Bandits?
It's the Wet Bandits.
The Wet Bandits were real idiots. Real idiots. Kevin McAllister, thank you, Billy. I do like the idea of them someday. They've teased the idea of a return to the Home Alone franchise with Macaulay Culkin. Did Marble say it earlier? Kevin McAllister. Yeah. Yes, I apologize. I apologize, everyone. But anyway, Home Alone is a Christmas movie, and it's a good one.
Yes. I feel like I had something to say, but I completely forgot it in the haze of trying to get everybody's comments up. Eric Johnson's number 4 is Die Hard 2.
See, I don't have a frame of reference for this. I've seen Die Hard 2, but does it take place during Christmas?
Oh, God, it's been years since I've seen
I know
Die
3
Hard 2.
doesn't. I know that 3 does not take place during Christmas, but I don't know if 2 does or not. Macaulay Culkin is going to be in Fallout Season 2, and you can hear about that on Date Night at Power Noodle. A great podcast that I highly recommend you check out on YouTube.
I don't think they could stick to an upload schedule.
Yeah, well, they'll get there. It takes time. No bird flies on its first try. And I don't know if that's true or not. I just made that up. It's life advice. Say that to everyone.
But yeah, I think Die Hard 2 does take place at Christmas time again at an airport this time.
Okay. Cool. Good to know. So yeah, Christmas movie. Absolutely. Takes place at Christmas. It's Christmas.
Yep.
Somebody mentions Christmas. It's Christmas. So by that logic, Dumb and Dumber, starring one of the main characters is named Lloyd Christmas. Christmas movie. Anyway, carrying on.
Rick Elizondo number 4 is Bad Santa.
Yes. For all of the things I listed previously, it's a great movie. I love Bad Santa. Billy Bob Thornton does a great job in that. It really takes the piss out of the Christmas industry while just making a fun movie. Billy said it's snowing in Die Hard 2. So yeah, it's a Christmas except for Australians.
Oh God, I lost it again.
I love it when chat's busy. This is great.
Yeah, it's nice, except for me. Here we go. Rick Alessandro's number 4 is Bad Santa.
I just did that.
Did we just do Bad
Yeah,
Santa?
I just said it. Said it was great.
Ah,
Great movie. Billy Bob Thornton. Yeah.
I could.
Lauren Graham from her, best eras of the Gilmore Girl years, and she is fine as hell in that movie.
In that case, I think we are done with chat.
Billy Rhodes said, "Damn, I wish I'd thought of Dumb and Dumber." It's not too late. I don't know what your list consists of currently. Are we only on number 4?
Yes.
This is good. This is great. My number 4 is now a Disney film, but wasn't at release. It was Touchstone to begin with, but it is Nightmare Before Christmas. It makes my little gothic heart happy to have a movie that is a Halloween film and also a Christmas movie. I love it. Jack Skellington is great. I am one of those guys. Got a little Jack right here next to me. Love the movie. I think it's great. Billy Rhodes said every era of Lauren Graham is the best era. I could agree with that. There were periods there where I found her the most attractive, I'd say. For me, I had a pretty big crush on Lorelai and watching the Gilmore Girls, which I'm a huge fan of because I don't know. I am. Anyway, love Nightmare Before Christmas. I think it's the best Tim Burton anything, and he didn't direct it. He came up with the characters and the designs. He wasn't actually the director of Nightmare Before Christmas. The music and it's great. Danny Elfman does a great job in that one. Everything about it's great. I just think that everything he's done since with his name on it has been less good than Nightmare Before Christmas. I really think that's where he peaked. Frankenweenie's okay. Corpse Bride is all right. I prefer a good onstage production of Sweeney Todd as opposed to the Johnny Depp version. Dark Shadows was laughably nowhere near as good as the Dark Shadows soap opera, both the original and then the later one in the 90s. Edward Scissorhands is okay. There's a lot of plot holes in that movie. They live in California. Where is he getting these giant blocks of ice? Anyway, also a Christmas movie. But yeah, Night Before Christmas is my number 4. Landon, what do you got for number 3?
My number 3, it's on all the time in every house I've ever been to for Halloween. Or Halloween, what the hell is going on?
Sorry, I did that to you. That's my bad.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I'm sorry, folks. Like I said, I just finished up finals today, so I'm a little brain fried. But anyway, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house.
Absolutely. I love Christmas Vacation. I think out of all the vacation films, it's the best one. And it takes place in Chicago, so a lot of love there for me. But yeah, I think Chevy Chase, for being the racist shitheel that he is in real life, those are some of the best movies he did. That and Caddyshack, and probably Fletch. Are like prime Chevy Chase when he was just at his best. And I think that's the standout. I think it's literally the best one.
Yeah. Christmas Vacation. It's that fun, hectic family sort of thing. Your family's crazy, but you love them. It's a lot better than the Fishes episode of The Bear. If y'all know that, that's the dark side of that.
It is.
And Chevy Chase, another comedian who's an asshole in real life.
There's a theme there.
There is a theme there.
Yes. Landon, what do you have for number 3?
Let me check chat. Eric Johnson's number 3.
What's your number 3? Oh, it was Christmas Vacation. Carrying on. My bad, guys.
Carrying on.
Landon's fried from his finals, and it's influencing me. I'm getting secondhand fried. Anyway, it's palpable.
Eric Johnson's number 3 is Krampus.
Ooh, that's a good one. That is a great choice. Of course, I am not shocked that my the object of my romantic affection, Eric Johnson, is picking great films. Not shocked by that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Krampus it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not all right, laying my cards fully on the table. I'm not the biggest fan of horror movies. I feel as though a lot of them rely on people making very foolish mistakes. And
That's
sometimes,
horror movies in general. Yeah.
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 And sometimes it's warranted, the suffering they go through, and sometimes it's not. So it's real.
House of a Thousand Corpses is one where the suffering was warranted. But anyway.
Yeah. So it's real hit or miss for me whether or not I actually enjoy the movie. But Krampus, I thought it was all right.
I just love the idea of a dark aspect version of Santa Claus, the one that's for the naughty kids, and him coming to get them. I just think it's really great. Billy said, check your batteries in the carbon monoxide detector. Good advice. Good life advice.
Also, Kenpachi, I put it where I put it. I'll admit it probably could have gone higher, but Christmas Vacation is where I put it. I put it at number 3.
Wow. Yeah. Some critique from the audience. I appreciate it, Kenpachi.
Marbles, number 3 is Jim Carrey's The Grinch.
Yeah. Awesome. It's Jim Carrey went way too hard for that film. And it shows. It's so great. Such a great A, Grinch movie, and B, Christmas movie. And it stands up to the test of time. It's so good.
Yeah. It's fun. It's always fun watching Jim Carrey, and that was during his prime, if I remember right.
Yeah, that was around the time that his star was the highest it was going to get.
Yes.
Pre-Sonic 1, 2, and now 3.
And it peaked with The Grinch.
I mean, it's a lasting legacy. You could do worse.
Yeah. Jennifer Johnson's number 3 is The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Great choice, Jennifer. I know that you and I are both gothic at heart, and it shows. Great choice. Rick also said that Krampus is a great horror comedy.
Yeah, I enjoyed Krampus. Agreeing with both.
No, he didn't. He said he hated it. Guys, get him.
Agreeing with both Rick and Eric. Yeah, bad horror can be good comedy. Just as long as it goes whole hog like a Trauma movie, you know?
I do love Trauma. I'm sad we're never going to see Peter Dinklage's Toxic Avenger movie.
Oh, did that get canned?
Yeah, it got canned.
Oh, I actually hadn't heard that. I'm sad now.
Yeah, it's never going to release now.
Yeah. Maybe some number 3s will cheer me up. Space Boys, number 3 is Merry Christmas, Charlie Brown, 1960 something. Do I need to explain?
I mean, some explanation would have been nice, but no, I mean, not necessarily. It's got Snoopy in it. And somebody played Snoopy in his freshman year High School Musical. So I have an affinity for Snoopy. It's a thing I like.
I have 48 hours to live.
Jennifer, Landon hated Krampus. We write it down. Also, our human relations specialist and fact checker extraordinaire, Ben Stewart, is in the chat. Ben, what is up? He says that Sonic is Jim Carrey's prime. He's never been better. I would say Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind might be Jim Carrey's prime, but it could also be The Grinch. It could also be Sonic. And then he plays 2 roles in the new one.
Yeah, he plays Eggman and his granddad.
And now that Ben is here, I have to stop sexually harassing Landon. So if that's what you were tuning in for, I apologize. I can't do it anymore.
Ben, feel free to rewind the stream. There's at least 3 times.
You don't have to do that. This is live. I mean, you can't rewind live. That's not a thing you can do. Anyway, carrying on.
Kenpachi's number 3 is the 2018 Cumberbatch Grinch, if the click will work to put it on screen.
You got this. Did it happen yet?
Nope. I think it's just a lag.
Oh, is our internet not? Okay, there we go. We're up. But yes, the Benedict Cumberbatch Grinch, I've not seen it. Have you seen it, Landon?
I have not.
Okay. We're going to have to take your word for it, Kenpachi, but it's a good word, so I believe you.
Weirdly enough, I saw one video about the ending scene of the Cumberbatch Grinch, which is like an epilogue to the main events. It shows the Grinch actually coming in and being a part of a Who party for Christmas, and he's sort of like awkward and trying to fit in. It looked nice. It actually looked kind of sweet.
I might check it out.
Okay.
Landon's scrolling. Chat's moving too fast for him. I wish there was some way you could like pin those when they come in. I'll let StreamYard know.
Oh, I found a way to highlight that pool.
Look at that. We're solving problems live on air.
Billy Rhodes number 3 is the Christmas episode of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Mamma mia!
Hey, paisanos.
Captain Lou Albano. Hey, I'm a plumber. Hey,
don't do drugs or you go to hell before you die. Remember that one?
No.
Oh. Yeah, there's a drug PSA that Lou Albano did as Mario, where he says, talk to your priest, talk to your pastor, talk to your rabbi. And remember, if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die.
Hey, stay away from drugs, okay? Captain Lou Albano will put you in hell before you die. It's not even one of his finishing moves. It's just an offer.
It's something he could just do.
Yeah, it's just a thing he can do.
Have you seen anything about the Super Mario Brothers Super Show?
I mean, I watched it when I was a kid.
But do you remember this episode?
Not the Christmas episode. I think I do, actually. They were doing Christmas in Koopa Land, in the Koopa Kingdom. I vaguely remember it. Anyway, moving on.
Rebecca's number 3 is The Holiday. Hands down, my fave Christmas rom-com.
So that's Jack Black, Jude Law, God, what's her name? The one from right? Yeah. Jack Black and Jude Law and what is her name? She was in Titanic. Main character, Rose.
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, great Christmas movie. It's a great one. Strongly agree, Rebecca. Great choice. My bad that I cannot remember the actresses' names. But yeah, it's funny, and Jack Black makes everything better. Ben says nothing is better than Jim Carrey being the holiday Who-meister. Holiday Who-whatty?
Rick Alessandro's number 3 is Die Hard.
Also, yes, absolutely a Christmas movie. I will not be taking questions. Great choice, Rick. Yeah, well, we'll have some cocktails, share a few laughs.
Deontay's number 3 is Krampus 2015. Krampus is one of my favorite pieces of fiction ever.
Yeah, there's a lot of not that there aren't a lot of Christmas movies out there, but I think the quality of Christmas movies is pretty. It's a pretty weird bell curve, and so I'm not surprised we're seeing a lot of repeats. Yeah, dude, Krampus is great choice. Probably up there with the Jack Frost horror movie, not the one starring Michael Keaton as a snowman, but the one where the criminal psychopath murderer escapes from prison and then becomes a snowman and then terrorizes one family on Christmas. I believe there was 2 of those. I think I saw it on Cinemax one night, but great horror film, and terrible effects, just terrible. Anyway, carrying on.
I think that might be all the numbers.
Kate Winslet, thank you, Jennifer Johnson. Thank you. If you guys are not catching a theme, I'm not great with names, and I've maybe mentioned that a handful of times. I do my best, but this thing doesn't always spit out what I'm looking for. Yes, Kate Winslet and Cameron Diaz, Jude Law, and Jack Black. Great Christmas movie.
But yeah, I think that's all the number 3s. Again, if I missed any, let me know.
My number 3, previously mentioned in the list, one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time, definitely in my top 5, Gremlins. A lot of people don't remember that this movie takes place during Christmas. It does take place during Christmas, and Phoebe Cates' character does tell a grisly story about her father trying to slide down the chimney dressed as Santa. He gets stuck, and they find him 2 weeks later when his body starts to stink, which just the feel-good moment of the 80s. Gremlins is great, enjoyable. The idea is awesome, other than the rules, which are very confusing. Don't feed them after midnight and don't get them wet. It's literally always after midnight. Always. It's never not after midnight. From the first midnight that ever existed to today, it has always been after midnight. When the fuck are you supposed to feed these things? Other than that, Gremlins is great.
Other than the obtuse rules.
Yeah. Very confusing. Might have been lost in translation. Marble says Gremlins gave her perpetual nightmares as a child. I get it. I was terrified of Freddy Krueger from the time I was like 5 when my brother showed me Nightmare on Elm Street until I was about 15 years old when I watched it again and saw how silly it was. I get it. Shortly after I found out Santa Claus didn't exist.
Yeah.
I know. Just a lot of growing up in that like 12, 13, 14-year-old range. Anyway, what do you have for your number 2, Landon?
All right. My number 2. It's All of the Other Reindeer. Should this be as high as it is? Fuck no. Is this completely fueled by nostalgia? Yes, it is. This is one of those movies that played all the time simply because the network could afford the rights to it because they were dirt cheap. But hey, it holds a special place in my childhood heart.
What has to visually be some of the cheapest animation I've ever seen in my life. The Drew Barrymore starring vehicle about a young dog that wants to be a reindeer and thinks that she's mentioned in the Rudolph Christmas song as Olive the Other Reindeer. I just got in trouble by Ben for mentioning that I was wrong in believing that Santa doesn't exist, and then found out that he was real. And that's my fault for not giving full context when I said it. Apologies, Walt. But anyway, All of the Other Reindeer, yes, starring Drew Barrymore, and a very poor, like very cheap animation style. Yeah, it plays every year. I believe it was Fox originally aired it. I mean, it's I wouldn't say it's great cinema. Definitely appeals to children.
Well, I was a child when I saw it, so it fits.
That makes sense. You're almost still a child.
Almost still a child.
Almost still a child.
I'm in my mid-20s, but I'm
right
almost
out
still
of
a
it.
child.
Just on the other side of adulthood.
All right. Ben's number 2. The Boys Meet World Halloween episodes where someone is hunting them at school during detention.
How does that relate to Christmas, though? I don't. It's been a minute since I've watched that. Might need some context, Ben. Feel free to fill me in. Anyway, carrying on.
Ben Stewart's number 2 is Blank Man. I specifically remember Danny watching it one year on Christmas Eve and watching it with him.
You know, as far as the that period with Meteor Man and Blank Man, I think Blank Man's pretty funny. It's not Marlon Wayne's best comedy, or Damon. It's not Damon Wayne's best comedy. I think that's probably Major Pain. I think that might be the best thing Damon Wayans has ever done. But Blank Man's fun. It's about a guy that thinks he's a superhero and he develops bulletproof costume and starts fighting crime even though he doesn't know how to fight. And I can see watching it at Christmas. I think that's fine. I don't see anything wrong with that. And if you've never seen Meteor Man, check that out too while you're at it.
Hey, Ben, why do you have 2 number 2s under 2 separate accounts? One is Facebook, one is YouTube.
Huh.
Unless one's supposed to be a number 3.
Or is somebody using his Facebook while he's also using his YouTube? He's been hacked. One of those is a spy from China. Anyway, carrying on.
Eric Johnson's number 2 is A Christmas Story.
Eric, just right ahead of me every time. I will cover Christmas Story in a minute. Great choices. Christmas Chronicles gets an honorary mention. That's awesome. Billy Rhodes said Blank Man is fucking great. That's the legacy sequel we need. Absolutely. Would love to see a sequel to Blank Man. Ben says he has 10 favorite Christmas movies. Duh.
I see.
What was the marbles thing? Love that we can cover an entire half a show at our Hear Me Outs, but can't really about Santa. I mean, those Hear Me Outs were pretty great.
Hear Me Out number 6, Santa Claus. That ain't a Hear Me Out. We get it.
Yeah, maybe you should do Santa's We'd Bang list. Maybe holiday characters we totally get with.
Easter Bunny do be looking fine. Rick Alessandro's number 2 is Christmas Vacation.
Great choice. Great choice. Prime Chevy Chase. I think that was his best. I think maybe his best work. I see Marbles got number 2.
Marbles number 2 is Home Alone.
Great. Yes. Home Alone is, Kevin's crazy. He almost murdered those guys. They were stupid.
Jennifer J's number 2 is Santa Claus, the movie.
The Tim Allen starring vehicle that sparked a direct-to-video franchise afterwards. Tim Allen hasn't starred in a lot of movies. Toy Story, Santa Claus. I think that's the list.
Rebecca's number 2 is Eloise at Christmas Time. I was about the same age as the character when it first came out, and I wanted to be her as a kid. Lol. Peak childhood and nostalgia for me.
I believe that's the comic strip character Eloise. She's a little girl who goes to like a French boarding school, I believe. And they made a movie about it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's it. And yeah, I could see that. I haven't seen it. I think like the Eloise comic strips, so it could be good.
Space Boys number 2 is Klaus. It's on Netflix. The origin story of Santa with a mailman. I love it.
Who's in that?
I don't know.
Okay. I don't know that I know that one, and I apologize. That's on me. I try to know every single thing that may show up on a list, but I've had a busy week.
Billy Rhodes, number 2. Not a movie, but the Tell 'em Steve Dave podcast always puts out a Christmas pod, and I always look forward to it.
I haven't checked that podcast out yet, but I probably should. It's got people I like on it. I think I'm getting in trouble. Space Boy's yelling at me in the chat. All caps.
All caps.
All caps.
You know they're mad.
Eloise lives in the Plaza Hotel. Madeline is the French. Oh, you're right. My B. Rebecca, I apologize. That is Madeline. Thank you.
Deontay's number 2 is The Polar Express.
Great choice. It was on Landon's list. A lot of Tom Hanks in that movie. It's like 95% Tom Hanks, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Just enough Tom Hanks to be good, not too much Tom Hanks to be oversaturated.
Name something that's got enough Tom Hanks to be oversaturated.
Nothing comes to the top of my head, but I'm almost certain I've seen it somewhere. Because there's tons of movies out there where it's like, I like this person, but it's too much of them.
Too much Tom Hanks? I don't know that you can get too much Tom Hanks. I like that period where he was going around on social media pranking people, and then he'd put Hankst at the end of the post when he'd show the picture. You ever seen that?
No.
He'd like catch fans not paying attention, and he'd do things to them and take a picture of it, and then he'd post it on his social media and be like, Hankst.
Cool.
It was a good time. It was like early Twitter.
That sounds delightful.
He's a delightful man.
Oh, God, where was I?
You should probably mark it with a star when you do it.
You see, I thought I would remember to do that, and then I didn't.
Repetition, man. 21 days. So it takes to make a routine.
Kenpachi's number 2 is Spirited, The 2022 musical with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell. I find myself singing the songs for days after watching, and it was so funny and has some amazing tap dance in it.
I think it's great that Will Ferrell appears on the list twice. And isn't it that kind of like a retelling of Scrooge?
I do not know.
A Christmas Carol. I think it's kind of like that. I don't know. I haven't. I apologize. That's another one I haven't seen yet. I think I started it one day, but I didn't get very far into it.
I believe that is everything. All the number 2s in chat.
My beautiful wife Katrina is in the chat. Hello, glad you're here. We are doing our 5 favorite Christmas movies. John Lithgow's the man. Did someone list the Santa Claus?
Huh?
Did someone list the Santa Claus?
Yeah, the Santa Claus was up here earlier.
Who I didn't see. I don't think we talked about it.
Yeah, you talked about it. You said, yeah, it's the Tim Allen vehicle. Yeah, Santa Claus, the movie.
Santa Claus the movie is not the Tim Allen starring Christmas vehicle. That is actually a movie from the 80s where John Lithgow plays the villain. And God, what is his name? I actually think I saw him listed there. God.
Hold on. Here it is.
Dudley Moore. Yes. Dudley Moore and John Lithgow star in it. It's about a kid from the streets who meets a well-to-do girl that is the niece of a rich candy corporation, greedy candy corp owner, played by John Lithgow. And Santa Claus actually comes into their lives and helps them. Dudley Moore is an elf that leaves the North Pole with aspirations of making it big in New York City. And he brings a recipe for candy that will make you fly, which they produce. And John Lithgow ends up eating a bunch of it at the end of the movie. It has been a minute since I've seen it. But yes, I do love Santa Claus, the movie. And I apologize that when I saw it, I was thinking Santa Claus with Tim Allen, because this is a much better movie and deserves to be much higher on the list. And I'm glad that's where you put it. The cool, Santa Claus in that, like Santa Claus the movie, that Santa Claus looks like what everyone thinks Santa Claus looks like. It's very much the like the effect of like Cesar Romero making the Joker look like him after he became the Joker, as opposed to the way the Joker looked before Cesar Romero. I think everybody changed the way Santa Claus looked after this movie came out. It's great. It's like when you think of like Hallmark, what Santa Claus looks like, it's the Santa Claus from this movie.
All right.
Yep. And I think that was the earliest Coca-Cola tie-in with Christmas as well. I think Coca-Cola is a big part of the movie.
Oh, really? I thought they had done sooner than the 1980s.
Maybe, perhaps, perchance. I don't know. I didn't exist before the 80s.
Fair enough. But yeah, I think that's everything in chat.
Okay, my number 2, you'll shoot your eye out, kid. It's A Christmas Story. The tale by Gene Shepard, originally, I believe, published in the pages of Playboy magazine, which then became one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. The dad in that is what makes it for me. I don't really care for Ralphie too terribly much until the scene where he beats the shit out of the bully. Prior to that, I don't really care for Ralphie, but the dad in that movie is hilarious. I love watching it. He kind of reminds me of my own dad in a way. And it takes place in Wisconsin. I grew up in Northern Illinois. Our Christmases aren't terribly far from what they get in Wisconsin. So it brings a lot of nostalgia to my childhood and what Christmas looked like when I was growing up. But I just love that movie. And it's so, especially for the time, it's so different from what Christmas movies were. You get your like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Frosty the Snowman, and especially at that time, your Peanuts Christmas special, or the California Raisins were always doing something. And then you get A Christmas Story, which is like this like train wreck of a movie about the real American Christmas experience, and it really has never changed. That movie I think is set in the like 50s. But Christmas is still the same today. It's it's a mixed bag of like awful experiences with a little bit of tinsel on top, and that's what I love about the movie.
Yeah, it's hectic, it's crazy, it's definitely something that's not just warm fuzzies during a time when it was all warm fuzzies on TV.
Yep. But yeah, absolutely. And hopefully Eric Johnson felt the same way when he listed it. I love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Landon. Oh, you're looking at me. It's like it's time for the big thing, and I'm not even paying attention. Landon, would you be so kind as to give me your number? Landon, you're number one, please, sir.
Dang. That's the loudest you've been in a while, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
Feeling good today.
I felt the ringing in my ears deeper than usual.
It's all the reading. I've really rested my voice this week.
I could tell. My number one. It's a Wonderful Life.
Aw.
It's a classic movie about a guy who contemplates suicide and an angel stops him.
Yeah.
See, in a lot of movies, in any media, normally you want to start with the action. You want to start where it gets good, where the stuff you want to talk about gets to. And a lot of people sometimes make the mistake of thinking you have to start with a whole bunch of story. You have to do all the build up and everything first. You have to tell how you get here. And that ruins most media, I've noticed. But for It's a Wonderful Life, that's kind of the important part. That is the important part to know. You have to know how he got here. And you got to see everything through his point of view, and in order to truly understand how much of an impact he had on people's lives.
Yeah, definitely the beginning when he gets the ear infection and he goes deaf in one ear. That sets the stage for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about, right? That part?
Oh, yeah, totally. And plus, you got Jimmy Stewart. He's always fun to listen to.
It's so jolly all a day with Mary. That movie, right?
No.
Okay.
Whether it's him contemplating suicide or talking with his 7-foot tall rabbit friend. You don't know that one, do you?
I'm just laughing like I do, but no, I don't. You've caught me.
That's fair. But yeah, for me, It's a Wonderful Life.
I mean, I will not be shocked if that's not a number of people's number ones, but we'll see.
Well, it's not for our first two, because both Eric Johnson and Rick Alessandro both had Scrooge.
Hell yeah, dude. Bill fucking Murray, brother. Yes. It's such a great movie. It's such a joy to watch. Maybe second only Muppet Christmas Carol for a retelling of Christmas Carol. It's an all-star cast. It's so well done. It's funny beginning to end. It's everything Groundhog Day wishes it could have been. It's so good. Scrooge is awesome.
I watched it for the first time this year.
Yeah.
Joey made me sit down and watch it.
Good job. Way to be, Space Boy.
It was good. I liked it.
Yeah. Got some good stuff in it.
Ghost of Christmas Past is the best. Saying that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Marbles, number one is Love Actually.
Oh, yeah, that's a great Christmas movie. Got a lot of great characters, a ton of actors, great screen recognition. Andrew Lincoln, before he became Rick from The Walking Dead, like he left, he dropped all those cards for Keira Knightley, and then he turned around and got hospitalized and woke up in the zombie apocalypse. And that's what happens when Keira Knightley rejects you. But anyway, some of the saddest storylines in that too. Like I felt like, spoilers for Harry Potter, weirdly. I felt like when Snape died in Harry Potter, it was all payback for his character in Love Actually. Like he earned that.
He earned that death.
Yeah, because he was a shitheel in that movie. But anyway, moving along.
Kenpachi's number one is Frosty the Snowman. My first choice was going to be Christmas Vacation, but it has been said many times, many ways Then I was thinking Scrooged, but it got listed twice, so Frosty gets the call.
The first one, great. The second one, starring John Goodman, is trash. But yeah, the animated Frosty the Snowman Christmas classic. And then they, many, many years later, I think early 2000s, made a animated sequel starring John Goodman as the voice of Frosty. And it is just convoluted. The storyline doesn't make any sense. Like, where's the character progression? You know, I just don't feel like Frosty grew as a character. And I don't think that John Goodman lends his voice well to the Frosty the Snowman character.
How can it be bad? It stars a good man.
Unfortunately, that was not enough to sell the movie.
Damn.
The song sucked too.
Jennifer J's number 1 is Gremlins.
Yes, great choice. Definitely is a Christmas movie. Love Gremlins. Instructions are not clear. Still want a Gizmo.
Yep. Space Boys, number 1. The one, the only Muppet Christmas Carol. Michael Caine as Scrooge, taking the role as serious as possible. Muppets being the Muppets, and bomb-ass music. I watch it at least 8 times each December.
Yes. I think the Muppet format lent itself well to that film. No notes. I think it was great. And I would love like that and like Muppet Treasure Island. I would love for them to do more classic stories in the Muppet format. I don't know why that didn't take off.
I don't know why either. Muppets Treasure Island was also fantastic.
It's also great. I don't know why that didn't become just a common thing. Like, when are we going to get Les Mis, but with Muppets?
To be fair, me and Joey all the time, we kept fan cast different movies with the Muppet characters.
Yeah.
All the time.
I think they do Les Mis and they keep Hugh Jackman and everyone else is a Muppet.
Yeah.
Muppets make me happy. Muppet Babies was something I watched a lot as a kid, and didn't know that they were actually intended to be a primetime comedy series for adults and not aimed at children, because I grew up with it being aimed at children. And then obviously Sesame Street is also all Muppets. But the Muppets are actually intended to be just
for adults.
For adults.
Well, for all ages.
Well, but anyway, it's a lot more adult humor, certainly.
Yeah.
But
both the Muppets and Fraggle Rock.
I'd say Fraggle Rock was for kids. You don't think Fraggle Rock was aimed at kids?
No, it specifically was also made for both adults and kids.
Was it?
Yeah.
Interesting. Had no idea.
Yeah.
The Flintstones too. Originally a primetime experience to replace the Honeymooners. And then it became, enough time passed that the Simpsons or the Flintstones became a children's show as opposed to aimed at adults. And the Simpsons are in the same vein. But anyway, don't want to get hung up on that too much.
Yeah. Anyway, Deontay's number 1 is Bad Santa. Top tier comedians converge on this movie. Tony Cox, Bernie Mac.
Yeah, dude, Bernie Mac too. Bernie Mac's so great in that movie. Yeah, F in the chat for Bernie Mac. Faux show.
Billy Rhodes, number 1. Any Xmas episode of Teen Titans Go. It took me a long time to like Teen Titans Go, and now I think it's the best stuff Warner Bros. Has made, and probably will make for a while now.
Just a warning. Check your spelling, because Landon will read it as written. I don't know that I can get behind Teen Titans Go. Billy keeps telling me to check it out and give it a chance. Maybe someday. I'm not there yet.
Rebecca's number 1 is the Jim Carrey Grinch. The character speaks to my soul, and the monologue about not going is me every time I leave the house.
Yeah, I can get that. Me, and then my daughter, Emma, her very most favorite thing to do in the whole world is to cancel plans. Like, she loves it. It's her favorite thing. It's that and then tax evasion. Those are her 2 favorite things.
What's that John Mulaney bit about canceling plans being as good as heroin?
I don't know, but he'd know.
Yeah.
But yes, Jim Carrey's Grinch exceeds expectations. So good. Billy said, so this is the second time I've ever brought it up. Do you keep a journal? How do you know that?
Yeah, I'm almost certain you brought it up more than 2 times, Billy. Maybe not on the show maybe on the show specifically, you've brought it up only 2 times, but talking with you, it's come up more than twice.
We've been friends a long time, Billy. We've definitely talked about this a few times. Anyway, is that all our number ones in chat?
Yeah, I think that's all the number ones. Again, let me know if I missed anything.
Yeah, if Landon missed your number one, feel free to chime in and say, hey, Landon, you incredibly attractive man. You forgot mine. Anyway, my number one is based on a Terry Pratchett book. I love Terry Pratchett. Specifically, this one is my favorite Christmas story, and that is Hogfather. It is a story about how a group of bureaucrats, like space bureaucrats, decide to get rid of Santa Claus. And after they find a way to eliminate Santa's power, Death, the anthropomorphic personification of Death itself, decides to fill Santa's shoes and goes around in a sleigh delivering presents and getting up to all sorts of Christmas hijinks, while his granddaughter, Susan, goes around trying to help solve the problem with where the Hogfather, the Discworld's version of Santa Claus, has gone. And it was originally a made-for-TV movie in Britain, and it's like 4 hours long, so it's a bit of a trek to get through it. I have it in a 2-disc DVD format. You can also find it on streaming now. But if you've not had a chance to check it out, please do. Billy, I text you back. I text you back as often as I possibly can. And is this really the place to air our dirty laundry? I think so. I think it's the best format. Absolutely. Don't think that there's troubled waters between Billy and I. We love each other very much. And he's not going anywhere. I apologize that I'm a shit texter, Billy. That's on me. My B-dog. And I will check out Teen Titans Go because I love you. And I'll do that for you.
My only excuse is that sometimes I just don't get texts on my phone.
He does have a really shitty phone.
My family have tried to get into contact with me multiple times, and I have just not found it at all until plans were made and I've been excluded from said plans.
So anyway, apologies. Moving along. That is all of our that is all of our number ones. That's the list for the week. I apologize, everyone. We will be back next week to do our pre-Christmas episode. And we will be talking about, wait, are we doing an episode next week?
I don't know. That's up to you.
Well, will you be around?
Yeah, I'll be around.
Coming up to the Christmas holiday. What's the date next week on Wednesday? I should probably plan better than this, and I apologize, everyone. It's the 18th. Yeah, I think I'm good. I'm going to do an episode next week. So we will be back next week to talk about all of our nerd news and what is going on. I think we should probably theme this next one Christmas related as well. We don't have any other Christmas things on the list, but I think we should do top 5 Christmas.
Ooh, I got one. Top 5 worst Christmas gifts.
Top 5 worst Christmas gifts. Now that can be, I love it. That's what we're going to do. So next week is our 5 least favorite Christmas gifts. That can either be a gift that you have received, and yes, please call the person out in the chat, or it can just be things you don't like to receive. Yes, 5 least favorite Christmas gifts, and we will break it all down. Also, feel free to do Christmas pet peeves as well, Marbles, if you want to do that, because this should be our last list pre-Christmas, so you might as well get it all out there. But anyway, this has been top 5. Or no, this has been the hit list. That is it for the week. Thank you guys for tuning in. We love and appreciate each and every one of you. Jennifer said, I'm sure ties are in there for the guys. I love a good tie. I like to get all dressed fancy, and my favorite knot is a half Windsor. If anyone needed to know that information, only solid color ties though. If you give me a pattern tie, I will probably throw it in the trash. Anyway, that is us for the week. Thank you guys for jumping in, being in the chat. Thank you, Rick, for being here. You guys are awesome. We could not do the show without you, and we love and appreciate each and every one of you. Landon, do you want to say anything to the nice folks?
As always, thank you for watching. However, Danny apparently got me a poster that I didn't realize I was getting until he pointed at me like 10 minutes before the show started and said, hey, this is for you. I'm like, oh, shit. All right.
It is for him. It is,
I have not looked at it yet.
It is a gift.
And I'm going to...
Not a Christmas present. It's just a gift.
I'm going to show it off.
Oh, you're going to put it on camera.
Oh. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I saw it, and something about it just made me think Landon.
It's a poster of the Nuka-Cola girl from Nuka World. Hell yeah.
But anyway, this has been Cutting Edge Hero for the week. Thank you guys. Ben, thanks for being here. All of you guys, we love you. Justin Quick, thanks for showing up. And get your lists together for next week's 5 least favorite Christmas presents. You guys have been great, and we've been Cutting Edge Hero. Play me out, Charlie.
Sorry, I'm working. See y'all.